What's going on, people? We are Tottenham TV, back here for yet another Tottenham update for you guys, and we're definitely going to be covering those interesting words from Mauricio Pochettino today in the update. But just before we do, go and check out our brand new website, WeAreTottenhamTV.co.uk, for your latest Tottenham articles. And it's just been open for comments as well, so put your best comments in any of the articles and we will react, or be starting to do a show reacting to the best comments in there. So go over to WeAreTottenhamTV.co.uk and leave a comment on any of the articles and we'll be reacting to the best ones. But let's get into the update, and we're going to start talking about Dele Alli, actually, a name that we haven't mentioned in a while here on this channel. And the Telegraph are reporting that Everton are in talks with Tottenham to renegotiate the £10 million appearance clause over Dele Alli. Sean Dyche does want to reintegrate him into the Everton squad, and the first payment of 10 million is triggered when he plays his 20th game for Everton, and he's currently on 13.
Yeah, it's an unfortunate situation, isn't it? Part of me wants Spurs to agree to it, or at least agree to like a lower fee that they would be willing to pay, just so Dele Alli himself can try to get his career back on track, because it's sad to see just him not being picked because that's the stumbling block, and because of financial reasons. And we know obviously he opened up very bravely in the summer about a lot of the troubles he's been going through in his life, and off the back of that, I think it's important it would be a compassionate move, I guess, for Spurs to allow that to happen. But at the end of the day, they did agree a deal, and if Dele does play that certain amount of games, Spurs don't really have a reason not to accept this. And I think Levy, knowing him and how how stubborn of a business negotiator is, I assume he's going to say, look, we had a deal. If you think he's going to be of value to you, then you should play him, even though he's going to cost you 10 million. But look, personally, for me, of course, from a personal point of view, I'd like to see a negotiation there.
How low would you go?
I don't really care. Even if it's free, I don't care personally. I don't think the money's massive money for Tottenham, and if it can get Dele's career back on track, that would be great. But I don't run Tottenham's financials. I don't know how necessary that money is going to be for them, and all that kind of stuff. And if they come to the decision that, look, they agreed a deal and they're not going to backtrack it, I'm not going to start protesting or anything.
Yeah, I think it's a shame, like, after everything he's been through, and like you say, he came out over the summer and spoke about all the issues that he was going through, or he has been through, for him to have an even more of a pause on his career just for this, it seems a bit like, it doesn't sit right with me, to be honest. And I can imagine a situation like Everton let him get to 19 games and then they'd never play him again.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that doesn't happen, but look, let's hope they can come to some sort of agreement, because I would hate to see a situation where Dele is ready to play and Dyche wants to pick him, but he's still playing with the reserves or something just because of a financial issue. That would be just ridiculous, and that would be nonsensical.
Let's talk about Destiny Udogie now and his injury problems at the moment. And Postecoglou actually said in his press conference 50-50 in terms of if he's going to play this weekend. But Paul O'Keefe has done an update today, and he says Destiny Udogie's injury problem is ankle ligaments. The recovery time is normally 2 weeks from minor issues, and Destiny is currently 8 days in. So
8 days in as of yesterday.
This weekend.
8 days in, but has it been 8 days since Fulham? It's been longer than that, hasn't it?
He says 8 days. He's 8 days into his injury. That's what Paul O'Keefe says.
But he must have picked up against Fulham when he went off, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I guess so. Fulham was on Monday night, and yeah, it's not even 8 days. But Paul O'Keefe said 8 days. Maybe he had
No, it's longer than 8 days.
Fulham was Monday night, right?
Last Monday.
Oh, last Monday, yeah.
Yeah, so it's been nearly 2 weeks, because Monday, it would have been 2 weeks on Monday.
On Monday, it'll be 2 weeks.
It'll be 2 weeks on Monday, so that's why I'm guessing it's 50-50.
Unless he picked up something else after the Fulham game.
Yeah, potentially. I guess that's possible, but we'll see. Look, if there's any doubt about it, even if he on Monday he says, look, I'm ready to play, but he's not 100%, I wouldn't risk it. It's a long season.
On the side of caution. Yeah.
Emerson's a good player, played well when he came off the bench against Palace. Showed he can do the role at left back. So we've got solutions. Obviously, it's not perfect. Obviously, he's not gonna do the roles as Udogie, but Udogie's been so good and he's been so consistent. I just want him fit and firing back as soon as possible, but I don't want it at the cost of a potential another injury. So whatever happens on Monday, I'm sure they'll make the best. I think Andrew's proven already he's not going to take risks with anyone. So if we see Udogie on Monday, I think that's because he's 100%.
Yeah, agreed. Let's talk about these quotes from Heung-min Son talking about how appreciative he is of his Korean fans. And he says, I want to make sure that everyone in my country is happy seeing me play at the highest level. I'm so happy to see South Korean flags in our stadium when I play for Tottenham. I want to stay at the highest level for as long as I can, to thank the South Korean fans for all their support. Of course, I feel like an ambassador for my country. Another example, when we play at 3 p.m. English time, it is midnight in Korea. When we play in the Champions League, it is 5 a.m. in Korea. And there are people who get up to see me on TV. I must give everything to them and assume my responsibility.
Yeah, and he's that kind of character, isn't he, Son? That he always felt that massive sense of responsibility to his country, and now even more so to his club, because now he's captain of both club and country, and we've seen how he's taken on that captaincy role at Spurs. And obviously, I've watched a few career games when they were at the World Cup. I wasn't really concentrating, I should say, on his leadership skills when he was captain. But obviously, he's a player who's admired and revered in Korea. He's like so popular there, and of course, he wants to give them as much as possible. And I hope that he can. He's saying he wants to play at the highest level as long as possible. He's 31 now. Obviously the question is how long can he play at the highest level for, but I do believe him moving centrally, playing in the number 9 will elongate his career for a bit longer. And I think we've seen strikers even similar to Son who play into their mid-30s and still scoring goals regularly. And Son is a player who takes really good care of himself. He's a model professional. This whole career has been geared towards just being like the perfect professional and always doing the right things and always looking after himself. So I don't see a reason why Son can't play at the highest level for many more years to come.
Yeah, I don't doubt that as well. Like you say, the complete model professional, looks after himself, finds ways as he's getting older to kind of combat maybe what he couldn't do a couple of years back. So I think it's music to all our ears, and we didn't look, let's be honest, we never thought anything other than what he's saying right now. And I think like as he's getting older, he's assuming that responsibility as a leader a lot more. And we're seeing it on the pitch, we're seeing it off the pitch, and it's great to see, isn't it?
I wonder if maybe in the future, like when he is getting older, and obviously his game right now, I'm not saying it solely relies on pace, but obviously it's a very important element of his game is his pace. But I do wonder, maybe when he gets to like say 33, 34, 35, is it possible we could see him, if that pace starts to diminish at some point, which I'm sure it will, we see him drop deeper and become a bit more of an all-round player, like a creative player, a bit like how Kane adapted his game a bit. He hasn't really shown at the moment. I was going to say, he hasn't shown at the moment that's part of his game, but maybe is that something he could adapt a bit more? And the more he plays this role right now, maybe he will adapt it.
I think it will be more like a Ronaldo, how his career advanced as he got older. He just stayed like as a central striker and maybe like a bit of a poacher. And I see that more for Sonny, more than like dropping deeper and more like knitting the play together. I see him more as that sharp, because you're not going to lose that clinical edge. You're not going to lose your ability to finish. And you're talking about one of the best finishers in Premier League history, or definitely in the Premier League right now, how clinical he is. I think this is his position now.
I think it definitely is his position. I wonder how he adapts
gets older,
it.
I'm saying as he adapts, he's just going to be more and more of a poacher.
Okay.
Let's finish off talking about these Maurizio Pochettino comments in the Chelsea press conference today. And look, whatever you thought about Poch coming into this game, these comments can't help but warm your heart, because it's such a great thing to see from, a man that we all loved so much, and we all wanted him back as Spurs manager and everything like that. But look, the reality is he is Chelsea manager now. We are going to see him against us for the first time since leaving Spurs. And the reality is as well that he is the enemy now. That is the facts of the matter. But when you're reading these comments, you can't help but have a smile on your face. So let's go through them. And he's talking about if the Spurs fans are going to boo him, and he says, I'm not going to say anything because until Monday I can't guess what the reception will be. He went on to say that I want people to know I can't forget the amazing memories we had there. It's not going to change my emotions if I'm booed, or the feelings where I spent an unbelievable journey. It's really special to come back after 4 years to a place where we have amazing memories. It's special. I'm not going to lie. when we left the club, it was a difficult moment. It's going to be exciting to be back. And then he went on to say, I only said the only two teams I would never manage are Arsenal and Barcelona. Then he was speaking about Daniel Levy, and he says, for me, Daniel Levy was the most important person because he gave me and my coaching staff the possibility to be in Tottenham. Not only a professional relationship, a friendly relationship as well. Too many memories together. It was an amazing journey, only to say thank you to the experience, to experience great things, like to build the new season. Then he went on to talk about the 3 stadiums he played in one season, playing at White Hart Lane, Wembley and Milton Keynes in the same year. An amazing project. Only I can say thank you. He says thank you a lot here. And then he went on to says, no, there was not a chance to go back to Spurs. After we finished our relationship with PSG, we wanted to be 1 year away from football. And then we arrived at the offer from Chelsea. And then he actually was talking about Spurs being potential title contenders. And he says, yes, I think so. Spurs being title contenders. They are doing a fantastic job. You feel they can be a contender. It is early in the season, but they are showing the quality to be a contender. I'm so happy for Ange Postecoglou and so happy for the club that they are doing so well after 4 years. I cannot forget what happened here, what happened there. We are very grateful. It's going to be weird seeing many years and Harry Kane is not going to be there. He's part of the history of Tottenham and it will be weird not to see him. So, I mean, what crazy comments.
I don't think many of them are too crazy, apart from the one where he says, I'm very happy for Postecoglou and I'm very happy for the club, how well they're doing and sitting on top of the league and they're showing they can be contenders. And if I'm a Chelsea fan listening to that, and and especially considering if you're a Chelsea fan, Spurs, your number one rivals, they're the team that you hate the most. And your manager is coming out and saying, I'm so happy to see them top of the league and how well their manager's doing. I'll be thinking, what are you doing? Because it's supposed to be a rivalry. There's supposed to be blood in the air kind of thing. It's supposed to be fierce. And I guess we'll see on Monday night how the Chelsea players come out, and maybe that will put to bed any notion of Poch, like I wouldn't say not taking it seriously, but not understanding the rivalry, I should say. But I wouldn't be happy.
The rivalry,
yeah, it should be him, 100%. But if I was a Chelsea fan, I wouldn't be too happy at that comment particularly. I think the other stuff, he's just commenting on his time at Spurs. I don't think he says anything too incendiary. Obviously, talking about Daniel Levy, I was quite interesting saying how important Daniel Levy was, but he doesn't really mention much about what he did at his time at Spurs. He just mentioned that Levy gave him the opportunity, and everyone knows they had a pretty close relationship when Poch would go on his boat and stuff like that on breaks.
They went on holidays together.
They went on holidays, so obviously he's going to have nothing but nice words to say about Levy. And look, you got to remember, he was here. How long was he at Spurs? 5 years, and he really was at that time proper part of the furniture. And there were times where I couldn't even imagine like Spurs at Pochettino during that tenure, and I'm sure he probably saw it the same way. He thought of it as a long-term project. How many times did he say like he really admires people like Fergie in terms of their longevity and staying at one club, and that's something he would love to replicate? So I'm pretty sure that's what he was thinking about at Tottenham. And obviously he did get sacked, and we probably paid for that. We paid for sacking him for many, many years after that, to be honest. Albeit things, when he did get sacked, started to go wrong. But I think still to this day, we probably suffered for that decision, I would say, up until 100%. Probably appointing Postecoglou. And again, we never really got that proper closure. We never got to say goodbye. We're still 5 years later. We haven't seen him back at Tottenham ever since. So I'm sure those feelings are still there with him. So it's no surprise that he's got all these feelings he wants to share now that they were playing Spurs. But I don't think he says anything too bad apart from saying, I'm happy Tottenham are top of the league. That is a bit...
he didn't say anything bad. I thought everything he said was absolute music to my ears. And I was like coming into this game, and my kind of thoughts about Pochettino was like, look, this guy's the enemy now. I'm not going to like him. I don't want to like him. He's Chelsea manager. But then after seeing all that, it kind of brings back all the good memories of when he was here and all the good stuff he was saying and doing. And look, it does warm my heart a little bit with everything that Poch was saying. But when it comes to 8 p.m. kickoff on Monday night, I think the fans have got to make it uncomfortable for him.
Do you think those quotes coming out on, obviously it came out today, does that change? Will that sway some fans in terms of how they welcome Poch back, do you reckon? Or do you think it won't change anything?
I don't think it should change anything,
But
in
will
my
it?
opinion. I don't think it will, to be honest. I think you're always going to have a section of the fan base that are going to be clapping him. You're going to have a section of the fan base that are going to be booing him. You're going to have a section of the fan base that are just going to completely ignore him. But for the work that he's done at Spurs, got us to a Champions League final against all the odds, got us fighting for titles and stuff like that. And the way it ended, no one wanted to see it end like that. And to go through everything we went through with Pochettino and not win a trophy was a kick to all of our faces, to be honest, kicking all our teeth. But look, as much as we all love him, he's Chelsea manager now, so we can't kind of just gloss over that. And whether he had a choice in the matter or not, whether Spurs had the choice to bring him back, I think all that's irrelevant. The fact of the matter, he is Chelsea manager, he is the enemy, and we need to make it uncomfortable for him.
I think we have to make it uncomfortable for Chelsea, not necessarily just for him. But yeah, I agree. I think it has to be a hostile atmosphere, and that has to be taken into account when we're playing a big game on Monday night. But I don't know. It's just when I see him coming out, I don't know if I have it in me to boo him. I just don't think I do.
For me, there's no room for sentiments in these kind of games. Not at all. None.
Fair enough.
And if we beat them, I will happily sing his name after the game. But that's about it. That's as far as it goes for me. Nothing before the game, nothing during the game. Only if we win and only after the game, in my opinion.
I'm happy to give him an applause before the game.
Well, luckily you're not going. But I think as well, like my feelings towards Poch, I'm always going to have a place in my heart for Pochettino. That's always going to be there. But it's put on pause right now. It's put on pause while he's Chelsea manager. As soon as that job is finished, then I think we can go back to loving Poch the way that we did before. But whilst he's in that job, whilst he's got that crest on his heart, we can't show our sentiments to him, in my opinion.
If we win, maybe that's a step closer to that reality.
Exactly. But that is your Tottenham update for today. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts regarding all the news topics we've talked to you about today. Like, subscribe, and comment. And as always, come on, you Spurs.